of his quality, Nathaniel Klein, and we saw him on Saturday, you know, to go and play elsewhere. It's a real shame. I think the warm weather training doesn't help. Now, it happened last year as well. They've won 2 games out of 6. Liverpool won 2 games out of 6 after winning 8 in a row since the turn of the year. They went out of the FA Cup against Wolverhampton Wanderers. I don't think that helped them. There became too many gaps between games. They went off, they had their little time in the sun, and they haven't been able to get their momentum back after that. They drew against Leicester, they drew against West Ham United. Bournemouth is an easy game on Saturday, although you'd expect them to win it because Bournemouth's away form is absolutely atrocious. But then they have Manchester United away from home.
We spoke earlier and you mentioned the point about the FA Cup and can you prioritise this, prioritise that. As Sam mentioned earlier, they went to Wolverhampton. He changed a lot of players. The players that come in were very disappointing. Legue, Sturridge, to name but 2.
They ended up with 2 teenagers playing in the back 4 that night.
I mean, and you lose momentum, and momentum in football is absolutely vital.
And that's why when we discussed previously about the prioritising of the FA Cup, it helps to be in these cup competitions, like you say, for momentum purposes.
I think so. Listen, there's nothing worse than a player walking off the pitch having suffered a defeat. Irrelevant to whether the team's been changed, whether it's not, you're still playing with the same badge on your shirt. You know, there's a Liverpool badge on your shirt, there's expectation on your shirt.
Well, let's bring Kevin Nolan into this conversation. Kevin is at Goodison Park. He'll be part of our team up there. And Kevin, we're talking about Liverpool and what's going on with them right now. What do you make of Liverpool? Are they stuttering, or is this just a blip?
Well, I think it's a blip. I think that it's a pressure what they've not had before, and this squad's not had. I think obviously the disruptions they've had at the back is certainly not helped as well. You know, Virgil van Dijk not being able to have a solid centre-half, which is obviously sort of seen him have in different games, not terrible games, but because of his consistency and how high he set his standard this season. I think, you know, people are sort of seeing that. But I think it won't be long before they're back on track and sort of pushing Man City in, and I expect it to be, you know, a 2-horse race in my opinion, which is going to go to the wire. And I'm sure if you ask any Liverpool fan or Jurgen Klopp at the beginning of the season, would they like to be sitting where they are at this moment in time, close to as Man City as possible, I think they would have snapped your hand off.
Kev, you've played for Sam, and I'm sure when you've managed as well, you hold a great stock on set plays. Now, I watched Liverpool against West Ham, and I couldn't believe some of the space they allowed the West Ham players, for the goal, and on top of that, Declan Rice got in and holding high lines, and you think, my goodness, what are you doing? You just can't play like that. How have you seen that, and what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think, listen, I think when you look at all the top teams now, they do tend to have these high lines. I myself am a fan of it, but you've got to be able to go with runners, and you've got to make sure that line drops and they have a sort of fluidity to it. I think on Monday night, they looked very vulnerable, and certainly around them free kicks, it just looked like they were sort of in false positions, and they didn't really believe in what they were trying to do and what they were supposed to do. And that's why I think they got the goal, West Ham, and I think that's why, you know, there was a bit of confusion whether Declan Rice was offside or not, but he was certainly onside, and he should have done better, and he should have punished Liverpool. But yeah, it's something that I'm sure Jurgen Klopp will be looking at and wanting to sort out before the weekend, certainly.
As we come into the business end of the season, do we think strength and depth now comes into play? We obviously know how well stacked Manchester City are, Stuart, for example, but are Liverpool equal to them?
Well,
I think they... Go ahead, Kev, sorry.
Yeah, I think when you look at Man City, you only have to look at the bench tonight, you know, how much quality is on the bench, and then they've got a game on at the weekend. They've got the Champions League coming up. They've got the final of the League Cup. Then they've got the so they're in all four, you know, still at all 4 fronts. I think that could hopefully, that will sort of play into Liverpool's hands, because they've only got 2 things to concentrate on at this minute in time, which is the league and the cup competitions. I'm expecting that, you know, Liverpool are not probably as strong as Man City in the depth of the squad. But I think, you know, 11 v 11, and if they can get them players back and fit and firing for the end of the season, it should be a real good race.
And Kevin, speaking to you about this game Goodison tonight. It's been interesting to hear Everton fans' views on it. I think a lot of them are torn on the outcome of tonight, many suggesting that they might want Everton to lose so that they actually can scupper Liverpool's title ambitions. What have you been hearing, and what do you think is the likely outcome?
Yeah, well, I'm hearing similar shouts from Everton fans, but I think, you know, the deep blues, they all want Everton to get back on and just worry about themselves. There's a long way to go in this title race yet. This is not going to make a difference, I don't feel. It will help Liverpool and give them a bit of confidence if they do get a result here against Man City. Yeah, of course, but you know, you've got to look at Man City. They've lost 3 of the last 5 away games. There's a bit of vulnerability in there which we haven't seen over recent seasons, and you know, they haven't done the double over Everton since 2013-14 season, so that's another positive for the Everton fans and maybe the Liverpool fans for tonight.
Okay, Kevin, we'll let you sit back and get ready for the game then this evening. We'll take a break, and when we return we'll focus once again on this game here at the Hawthorns, where West Brom take on Brighton in the FA Cup.
Grubby walls, stagnant style? Paint it with B&Q. New Good Home durable coloured 2.5 litre matte emulsion is just £16. It offers the perfect balance of great quality, colours and value. So for brilliant painting products at everyday low prices, you can do it when you B&Q it.
The FA Cup on Talk Sport with Sun Football. Visit thesun.co.uk for the latest results, news and gossip. We live it.
Someone you trust wants to talk.
Hello, I'm Jamie East. Join me and the lovely Hannah Flint every week as we delve into the glamorous world of film.
There's nothing really much that he does in it that makes me believe that he's actually changed his attitude towards black people.
Enough with the celebrity voice acting. It's utterly pointless.
His ability to play drunk people is just fantastic.
She is not adverse to dishing out an absolute pile of shit.
Whoa there, get all the latest as we review the biggest movie releases and chat to the stars behind them.
Both these films were groundbreaking and absolutely extraordinary and so personal in the way that they were done. I love them.
The Talk Film Podcast. Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing on Apple Podcast, Acast, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Your website shows your honest work and your hard-won reputation, but your rapidly expanding name must be broadcast across the nation. You've got your prices tweaked up fine. You've got awesome sales support. Now all you need's an ad campaign from the team here at TalkSport. Impress your friends and seriously irritate your competitors with a hard-working, cost-effective custom ad campaign on TalkSport. Find out what we can do for you right now at advertiseontalksport.com.
Join the nation's brightest conversation with analysis, opinion and debate from a stellar presenter lineup. The Matthew Wright Show, weekday afternoons from 1 on Talk Radio.
Jacob Rees-Mogg is on the steps, I think it's just outside the Palace of Westminster, talking to the press. Let's hear what he has to say.
I don't think that's correct.
Unbeatable afternoon entertainment with radio's Mr. Right. The Matthew Wright Show, weekday afternoons from 1 on Talk Radio.
Joseph goes in and bowls it! Dudley's left it! Well, if they're in trouble before, they are definitely taking on water now. They're 59 for 4, still trailing by 6.
Hello, I'm John Norman, host of the Following On podcast from Talk Sport, which follows England's path through the 3 tests, 5 ODIs and 3 T20s here in the Caribbean. And while it may be sunny in the West Indies, there's a dark cloud hanging over England.
It was an absolutely fantastic kick from the keeper, but as two centre-backs, we were sleeping in slightly.
He's well renowned for that, isn't he, Edison? Here's Tom Davis, corner of the City penalty area. Now Dominic Calvert-Lewin again. 10 yards outside the City box. Brings in Idrissa Gueye, who's back after injury. Lucas Dean, likewise, back after suspension. Missing out on Saturday against Wolves, with Leighton Baines missing out tonight, of course, having picked up that injury. Here's Tom Davis. Davis, 15 yards outside the box. He's going to spray it left towards Bernard. Something might materialise here for Everton. Bernard puts it into the danger zone, but Otamendi is able to head away. Welcome back, Big Al, says Scouse Mouse. Kevin, hope Snods is looking after you. Come on, you Blues.
Always look after my mate Al.
It's nice to be back.
Darren's listening, he'll be crying.
And Daryl Mahoney listening to EvertonFC.com while in work. Come on, you Blues, let's get a nice win, says Daryl. We echo those thoughts, of course. Here's Theo Walcott for Everton. Trying to attack the Manchester City penalty area, but City had enough men back in numbers, and then Tom Davis gets a huge round of applause for closing down and getting the block.
Yeah, we're only 6.5 minutes into this game, and Tom Davis started very well. He's looked confident. He's got the captain's armband on yet again, and again closing down there. Yeah, let's hope that Tom can keep doing this at this relentless pace as well for the next 84 minutes.
I think it's Darren's daughter who's been on. Lauren Griffiths.
It will be.
Darren is ending a 630 home game streak in style, as he's worked Everton match days, of course, for just over 20 years. We've never watched or listened to a game together as fans. Today, at 3 a.m. in the morning in Hanoi, that changes.
How good's that?
That is fantastic. So, brilliant. So, enjoy it, Lauren. Enjoy it, Darren. Connor is listening in from Vancouver. Hope you're going to enjoy it as well, Connor. Thanks very much for getting involved. Hashtag EFC Live. 7 minutes played at Goodison, 0-0. And to be honest, it's been a reasonable start from Everton.
It has been a reasonable start, yeah. We just got caught with a ball over the top, obviously from the keeper to Aguero. But other than that, the strike that just went wide of the far post. But other than that, yeah, we have started quite well.
Robert Miller's listening to us from his hotel in Bangalore in India. I bet it's a bit warmer there.
And a friend of mine, Craig Prince, is listening to me and you as well, Al. Just got a text off him, and let's hope
our
Princey,
cricketer friend.
Yes, let's hope Princey we bring you some good news.
Indeed. So hello to Robert in Bangalore, and hello to Curtis Lloyd, who's listening from the gym. Getting big, he says. I presume that means muscle-bound big. Here's Leroy Sané for Manchester City, and he let that ball run beyond the whitewash, and it is a throw into Everton deep inside their own half, close to the corner quadrant. I shouldn't use that term, whitewash. It's one of my rugby league commentary terms. That.
Are you getting into your rugby league, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I do. Very much a rugby league fan. Do a fair bit of it for Sky. So
yeah, I like my rugby league.
Yeah, great sport. Here's Dominic Calvert-Lewin with a heavy touch, which takes the ball out of play, and that will be a throw-in for Manchester City, just beyond the midway point of the Everton half. And Laporte will take the French defender. Another costly acquisition, just the £57 million from Atletico Bilbao in January of last year. Here's Sergio Aguero, hat-trick hero for City at the weekend. Ball given away by Theo Walcott, straight to Fernandinho, into the path of Leroy Sané inside the penalty area, but Everton got a good block on that. And John Joe Kenny, who's in for Seamus Coleman tonight, will get the ball away up towards Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Otamendi got in front of him, and Manchester City have a free kick.
What they do, what a lot of people don't realise as well, same with Barcelona when Guardiola had Barcelona. Off the ball, they work very hard. When they ain't got the ball, they want to get it back as quickly as possible. Yeah, they're great in possession, but when they lose it, they work exceptionally hard to get it back.
They took a quick free kick there, which didn't quite come off for them, and it's worked out to the right-hand side for Manchester City, and Kyle Walker over on the right side. Bernardo Silva it was, getting it back to John Stones. Brent is listening to us at work in a snowy Wisconsin.
Wins.
My word.
We get them from all over the world. There's toffees everywhere.
Yeah, come on, you Blues. Let's get a nice win, he says. Spot on. 0-0. We've played 10 minutes. And Manchester City are in possession. I'm sure it won't be the last time I say that this evening. They do enjoy the majority of possession in virtually every one of their Premier League matches, as John Stones carries the ball inside the Everton half, gives it short for Fernandinho, just ahead of the centre circle. Here's Laporte, who's going to knock it into feet here for David Silva. Now Leroy Sané is faced by John Joe Kenny inside the penalty area. Plays a 1-2 there with David Silva, and the return ball from Silva is too heavy for Sané and goes behind for a goal kick.
Thankfully it was. He's got great movement, David Silva. He always has. He's been a little genius since he came and played in the English League. There's no question about it. But when you've got the pace of Sané as well on this left-hand side, you're up against it. And if anybody can deal with it, hopefully John Joe Kenny can. He'll let him know he's around. There's no question about it.
Everton have had only 4 home defeats against Manchester City in the last 20 in the league at Goodison since 1992, and most of those have been recent. May 14, August 15, March 18, April 09. So they had a very good record until recent times against City, but that's turned a bit of late, which is understandable given the spending power and riches of Manchester City, champions and aiming to retain their title, of course. 19 wins from their 25 Premier League matches so far this season, as Aguero tries to get on the end of that little flick through from David Silva, but it's sorted out by Everton, and Pickford's clearance is out towards the City right, off the head of Bernardo Silva, and here's Kurt Zouma finding Lucas Dean. Now Andre Gomez just can't retain possession for Everton. David Silva's touch for Fernandinho. David Silva again, on for Aguero, midway inside the Everton half, back with Laporte. Here's Fernandinho. City probing, waiting for an opening, trying to find one here through Leroy Sané, but he's offside. And he shouldn't really be caught offside.
No, you wouldn't think so. He's looking along the line, Al. He's kept his width out on this left-hand side. But when you're there, you automatically have a glance and think, I shouldn't be offside. But they seem that confident all over the pitch. There's movement, great movement in between the midfield players and the strikers.
John Bowen says, evening chaos. I'm listening, as usual, in Wandsworth, poured a beer and ready to listen to hopefully a great game. So I don't know whether it's chaos here, but maybe where you are, John. Alex as well has been in touch. Alex Swift, as Michael Keane just intervenes and sorts things out defensively for Everton. He's listening at work from Bogota in Colombia. A shout out to the Swift family who are in the family stand, family enclosure, it probably means, below us. Come on, you blue boys. So Alex, that's your message.
Certainly
Colombia,
is.
far and wide.
Colombia.
Yeah. So he's got family in the family enclosure down below us. So hopefully they're enjoying it. The action so far at Goodison Park. 13.5 minutes on the clock. It's a strange sort of atmosphere, actually.
Yeah,
tonight.
it is, yeah. They're just starting to get into voice, Man City. It's took them 13.5 minutes to find the voices.
Well, Manchester City have won 7 of their 12 away games this season, beaten 3 times on the road. Snods, Chelsea, Leicester and Newcastle got the better of them.
No, that's right. It just proves that they are beatable. We keep saying that what a good team they are, but it just gives you a little bit of hope when you see them results and think, if we play anything like, if we're determined.
Well, in a football match, we know anything can happen.
11v11 when it boils down to it. All right.
Cup football.
It is. It proved last night. Newport against Middlesbrough thoroughly deserved the victory as well.
Yeah, it happens. And a lot can be down to attitude, can't it? Application. And Everton need to show an awful lot of that tonight, as Otamendi has possession for Manchester City. The Argentine international gives it to French international Laporte. Inside for Brazilian international Fernandinho. I'll drop the international because they all are. Fernandinho. Laporte inside the Everton half, some 15 yards or so. Worked out to the left touchline for Leroy Sané. Laporte once more, playing at left back tonight. has operated at centre-back, of course, on regular occasions for Manchester City, as Kyle Walker then knocks the ball forward. It was cut out initially by Bernard, but he couldn't keep hold of it, and now Manchester City have found space. Left-hand side, Leroy Sané cuts it back, but Everton got the block in through Kurt Zouma, and they needed it to corner City.
Zouma did very well there to get a block on it, because once the ball was transferred to Leroy Sané, he had so much room, because John Joe Kenny, in fairness, were trying to cover in there where Aguero was as well, but once he got that space, I'm thinking he's going to pick somebody out here. We could find ourselves 1-0 down. Thankfully, Zouma got in there.
Bit of defending for Everton now. Again, every man back as City shaped to take this corner from the main stand side of the ground. It swung deep, and Pickford started to come, then stopped, and was grateful that the eventual header went wide of his left-hand post. That was a big chance.
What a chance as well. You can see by the reaction on his face. Who was it?
Laporte.
Oh, he's got a great opportunity. The ball's into Jordan's come, got nowhere near it, probably on his 6-yard line, caught in no man's land. How he's not scored from there, I'll never know.
Horrible to say, but he should have scored. So 0-0, 16 minutes played at Goodison Park. You're listening to full commentary, of course, on evertonfc.com. Get involved if you can, if you are listening anywhere in the world. Hashtag EFC Live. Kurt Zouma in possession for Everton, determined to get forward at every possible opportunity. And as Snod said in the build-up to this one, if Everton do create an opportunity or a chance, they have to take it.
Yeah, they've got to take it. There's not many chances going to come our way. Hopefully 2 or 3 throughout the evening, but if they are there, you've got to be ruthless and try and take that.
James Kells says, come on, Everton, get those 3 points. They're doing their utmost. We've got another Wisconsin toffee. Chris is listening to our live coverage, and there's 1 or 2 of you out there. So
there is
company,
plenty.
Chris.
As we say, there are many Evertonians all around the world.
Yeah, thanks for getting in touch. From Wisconsin to Pensby, over the water on the Wirral. Carl says, let's get a win tonight. Carl, we reiterate that message once again. Andre Gomez in possession for Everton. Back on the halfway line now with Kurt Zouma. Across to his fellow centre-back, Michael Keane. And here's John Joe Kenny. The ball to Andre Gomez, sold him a little bit short, and City have nicked possession, and Aguero sending it forward towards Bernardo Silva. Thankfully, a watchful Kurt Zouma did enough.
Yeah, he just got caught in 2 minds, I think, John Joe there. He didn't know whether to play one up the line or play it to Gomez. He picked the Gomez option, and there wasn't enough pace, got cut out, and all of a sudden, counter-attack, we were under pressure until Kurt Zouma yet again came across and prevented that.
Gundogan. Now Bernardo Silva. Gundogan again. As he escaped down the right-hand side, bought himself a bit of space. It's flicked off the head of Aguero inside the penalty area and picked up outside the box by Leroy Sané, who uses David Silva. Sané knocks it back outside the penalty area for Laporte. Across to Fernandinho, now midway inside the Everton half. City forced back a little as Kyle Walker plays it in once more to Bernardo Silva. Here's Fernandinho. His ball has picked out Leroy Sané, who's just on the corner of the 18-yard box. Into feet for David Silva, who found space. His cut back, and it's off the crossbar. And it was Gundogan who got closest to it, and Everton somehow has scrambled it away. City have it again outside the penalty area with Fernandinho, and City are really pressing now. It's all hands to the pump as far as Everton are concerned inside their own penalty areas. The shot comes in, takes a deflection, and goes behind for what will be a goal kick, says referee Craig Pawson.
How have we survived that little 30 seconds to a minute there? The ball flashed across the box there. How the... Just trying to think there. Oh, he's hit the crossbar.
Yeah, it was Gundogan, wasn't it?
It was Gundogan, and then another opportunity as well. We've done well to survive that. Is that the bit of luck that we need?
Let us hope so. Andrew Challoner is listening live in Bolton. Feeling cosy, he says. Come on, Everton, let's hope for a good result. Get the season back on track. That's been the message that we've been relaying throughout the course of the evening here at Goodison Park, where it's Everton and Manchester City goalless, although City have just struck the crossbar by the boot of İlkay Gündoğan, the German international. Here's another German, Leroy Sané, down that left-hand side, taking a return pass, but the flag is raised offside against Manchester City, and it will be an Everton free kick inside their own half.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Jojo at the minute. He's trying to half cover at the back, but Sané is just keeping his width, Alsa, and it's difficult. I've been there. I played right back, and you're thinking, I don't want a ball to get in between us, but then you see the width, obviously, and you're thinking, wow.
Well, that's what City do so well. They play their wide men out on the touchlines.
They do, and it's so difficult for a fullback to prevent that ball going out there.
Yeah, they try and make the pitch bigger, don't they, City, in that regard? Put their wide boys right on the touchline, and it does create a headache for the opposition.
Just seen Robbie Fowler on the big screen as well. Well, the screen in front of us.
Yeah.
Robbie Fowler sat with Tony Grant at today's game.
A former blue and a former red. Obviously good mates.
Yes.
In somebody's box, aren't they?
Is that what they are? Yeah,
I'm not sure.
probably will be.
It.
I don't think Robbie will have bought a ticket, do you, Well?
I don't. Andre Gomez in possession for Everton. Just tried to release.
I know him pretty well. I know for a fact he won't have bought a ticket.
Spot on. Everton have a throw in 10 yards inside the City half, right-hand side, main stand side of the ground as they attack the park end in this first half. Andre Gomez picks up from that throw in from John Joe Kenny. It's back with Michael Keane. And Michael Keane looks long to the right towards Theo Walcott. Laporte won the header, and that will be an Everton throw in.
For me, that's kind of nothing ball, that, though. Theo's not going to win an header against Laporte. I'd rather just fling it in there and try and get Dominic to get a flick on and Theo work off that.
Yeah. Well, to Manchester City side in form, they've won 9 of their last 10 in all competitions since they lost 2-1 at Leicester on Boxing Day. So the exception to that was the Newcastle defeat, of course, on the 29th of January. Everton trying to get at them now. John Joe Kenny mixing it, putting a good ball into Theo Walcott. Walcott just couldn't bring it down inside the penalty area. It was sort of chest high for him. Andre Gomez now picking up, doing well, holding off 1 or 2 City players, playing it across the box for Tom Davies, whose touch was heavy and let him down. Idrissa Gueye picks up the loose pass, plays it out to Theo Walcott, who does put it into the box, and Fernandinho clears.
Yeah, decent play from Gomez there, picked the ball, driving at the Man City defence, went play on Tom Davies. His touch weren't the greatest of touches, his first touch. As it come out to Theo, I'm expecting better. He's got time to deliver across from this right-hand side. Probably defended 2 or 3 yards off him, and he's not missed the first man, which is disappointing.
Yeah, when Everton do get into those positions, they have to try and make them count. Here's Otamendi finding Fernandinho, still inside the Manchester City half. Fernandinho's ball to Kyle Walker. Oh, Bernardo Silva just knocks it back to Kyle Walker, and here's former Blue John Stones, £47.5 million. Manchester City paid Everton for his services back in August of 2016. Ball forward from Stones into Gundogan, comes back to the halfway line for Stones, and now Laporte just left of the centre circle. And that was overhit in his attempt to find Leroy Sané. You don't see that too often from City. Don't think Mr. Guardiola will be too impressed with that.
No, he likes his total football, there's no question about that.
Certainly does.
He's a cool dude, isn't he?
He's wearing his familiar attire, isn't he?
He is a cool dude.
That very long cardigan that has a hood on it as well. And he can pull it off, literally.
He can, yeah.
Tom Davies heads inside, but it won't find Gomez. Picked up by Silva. Bernardo, that is. Kyle Walker finding Fernandinho. John Stones back in the City defence, up towards the halfway line, headed on by Laporte, who won't get it back from Gundogan, or David Silva, I should say. It's now with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Halfway line, John Joe Kenny. Idrissa Gueye for Kurt Zouma. Little spell of possession for Everton, and this will do them the power of good if they keep the ball for a lengthy spell. Tom Davies sees Walcott in space and finds him. Corner of the penalty area, right-hand side. Walcott tries to get one into the penalty area. Laporte gets the block. Will it go behind for the corner? No, the final touch off the head of Theo Walcott, unfortunately.
So frustrating when it goes out there. Theo's got to do better. He's got to... I don't think he needed to beat him there. Once it come out to him, he got the defenders 2 yards off him. Just get out your feet and deliver a ball into the box.
Kev Turner, listening from Great Yarmouth, says, evening lads, great commentary as always, hoping for a good performance from the Toffees tonight and 3 points. In Marco we trust. So Kev, have a good evening in Great Yarmouth. It will be better once Everton find their way in front in this game. 0-0, beyond the midway point of the first half. We've played 25 minutes. It's goalless. And Everton have had 1 or 2 moments. Manchester City have struck the crossbar. Laporte has also missed a decent headed opportunity, but here's Dominic Calvert-Lewin trying to slide inside of Nicolas Otamendi and then was taken to ground by Laporte. Craig Pawson was having none of it though. Ball's cleared by City as far as John Joe Kenny. Now Andre Gomez. And the throw-in will be City. I don't think the linesman or the referee knew.
No, I don't think they did. They were just waiting for some kind of reaction off any player.
How often do you see that where the referee and the assistant just look at each other and don't know which way to give it?
David Silva went down there appealing for a free. It wasn't a free kick. I thought Michael Keane read the situation perfectly, nipped in front and started the counter-attack.
City in possession. Bernardo Silva right across to this near side, the City left, Laporte. Now Fernandinho, who always seems available to pick up possession for Manchester City and knock it into feet for Aguero. On it goes towards David Silva. He's trying to release Leroy Sané. John Joe Kenny is sticking with him and doing his task yet again and forcing Leroy Sané to run the ball behind.
Yeah, it's a big test for John Joe so far. All right, he's had his space, Sané. He's had his chance to go at John Joe, but so far, fair play to the Everton youngster. He's sticking manfully to his task.
It's the 32nd start of his Everton career. John Joe Kenny, his 9th of the season in all, his 6th in the Premier League.
I tell you what, it's great to have you back. I've not worked for you for so many years, and the stats just flow off your tongue. The stat man's back.
It's all in the preparation.
The stat man's back.
Preparation is the key to success. So they tell me.
And have you seen my notes?
Yeah,
nothing.
Non-existent. Fail to plan to fail, hey?
Correct.
Fernando, you don't need notes.
I don't need notes.
It's all up there.
Correct.
Here's Andre Gomez for Everton, who's drifted out to the left-hand side. What a goal that was on Saturday.
Great strike, yeah. Plenty of power. Terrific strike.
Yeah, want to see a few more of those, don't we, from him?
Certainly do. We've seen it's in his locker, so
yeah,
as you say, let's see a few more.
Here's Michael Keane for Everton, still just inside their own half. Idrissa Gueye closed down quickly by Gundogan, but it's back with Michael Keane. Now out on the right touchline, John Joe Kenny inside for Andre Gomez, who's trying to fend off David Silva. He does so. Silva stands back, and Gomez has time to just play the short pass into feet for John Joe Kenny. On it goes to Theo Walcott, who's inside the City half. Back for John Joe Kenny. Out wide now for Tom Davies, who's just bought himself a little bit of space on this right touchline. And Theo Walcott likewise plays it into the penalty area. Bernard with the header, and it wasn't far wide. And the final touch was off a Manchester City player and gives Everton a corner.
Yeah, that's good play. The build-up was quicker. Into feet, out to Theo Walcott. First time this evening, 28 minutes into the game, he's got a decent ball into the box. Bernard looked as though he was going to get there in front of the defender. He's come off the Man City defender. Yeah. It's resulted in a corner kick.
Yeah, just came off the back of Kyle Walker. Richard Darracott says, come on, Everton. Darren will be hoping our luck doesn't change, or he won't be allowed back when he returns from Vietnam, says Ramsey in Cambridgeshire. Ball into the penalty area. It's cleared as far as Tom Davies. Davies with a run towards the left edge of the 18-yard box. Great turn, but then he slipped at the vital moment when he would have been able to get a ball into the box.
Yeah, it was so unlucky there. Great turn by him.
The ball finally wrapped away by Kyle Walker. into touch, and that's the first sign of City being rattled this evening.
Yeah, and listen to the crowd. Once they do, they see the players closing down, making challenges. That's what Evertonians want to see. That makes them get off the seats.
Let's say hello to Kevin Douglas Miles, full of optimism, he says, listening in from the sunshine on my boat in Wellington Harbour, New Zealand.
No,
wow.
Right, on my boat.
Hi to all the folks back home, he says. Kurt Zuma with the flick on inside the penalty area, and then the lunge, which takes the ball off him and behind for a City goal kick, unfortunately. Again, Edison takes that quickly, looking for Aguero. It's a move that City try so often.
And do you know what? All of a sudden, they're 3/4 of the way up the pitch from a quick delivery from the keeper.
He's obviously instructed to do so by Pep Guardiola. And we've got Chris from California listening in. I hope the Blues can turn around. Certainly in terms of form he's referring to. That's Chris Lizardi in California. And Brett Norris is listening in from work in warm, sunny Atlanta. Not bad in the United States, eh?
Plenty from the United States this evening.
Yeah, I hope you're enjoying it so far. 0-0, half an hour on the clock. Fernandinho spreading one wide to Bernardo Silva on that right-hand side. He's got it into the box for Gundogan, who's allowed to turn, although Gomez has now forced him outside the penalty area. He's clipped it across to Leroy Sané, and Sané's miskicked completely, although the ball headed away by Michael Keane eventually goes out off Walcott for a throw into City.
Yeah, thankfully Sané did. I just thought he was going to volley that, drive it across our 6-yard box. Thankfully he did miskick it.
Throw in City, level with the 18-yard box. Aguero to take the throw in. Don't think he's the specialist throw in taker for City, but he does take, and it's picked up by City's David Silva and knocked back to the halfway line for Otamendi. Now Kyle Walker. Bernardo Silva hugging the touchline on the Bullens Road side of the ground. Back with Kyle Walker. Centre circle now Nicolas Otamendi. Here's Frenchman Laporte into David Silva again. Turning with Walcott in close attention, but still gets it into a City jersey, and now it's given away by Kyle Walker. Andre Gomez intercepts. Lucas Dean has it inside the Everton half and lifts it into the City half, where Dominic Calvert-Lewin will do his utmost to try and make something of it, but he can't. Otamendi for City.
I think Marco Silva will be relatively happy with the first 32 minutes of this game, Al.
Too many Silvers tonight. Marco, David, Bernardo. Oh, here is Bernardo on the ball. Beaten by Lucas Dean. Bernard has it for Everton, still inside Everton territory, but he gets that up to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's done very well to turn away from John Stones and drive towards the 18-yard box. He's inside the penalty area. Now City have got men back. Support from Everton. Tom Davis, edge of the penalty area, brings in Idrissa Gueye, and Idrissa Gueye's effort is blocked by Leroy Sané for an Everton corner.
That's good play by Dominic Calvert-Lewin yet again. Held the ball up, turned John Stones as well. Pity we didn't have more players into the box for him to deliver a ball in there, but that's good hold-up play by the Everton youngster.
That's the difficulty Everton will have with having so many men behind the ball when it does get up to Calvert-Lewin. They've got to get up and support him quickly, and it's difficult, isn't it?
It is a tough ask.
Bernard's come across to this right-hand side to take this corner for Everton. Bernard's right-footed delivery near post, headed away by Fernandinho. Towards Aguero. Tom Davis is with Aguero, trying to harry him and hassle him and force him into a mistake. The final touch comes off Davis and goes out for a City throw. Still inside their own half. Fourth official Mike Dean fancies himself as a footballer and passes the ball to Laporte. He loves it, Mike Dean, doesn't he?
Let me tell you, this has been a whole lot better than the game here against Wolves, Al.
Yes.
So far, just for the energy, for the work rate off the players.
Yeah. And we've got just over 11 minutes of the first half remaining. It's Everton 0, Manchester City 0. It's evertonfc.com for full live commentary from Goodison Park. If you want to get involved and get your message across to us, hashtag EFC Live. Laporte is in possession. 10 yards inside the Everton half. Very central now, John Stones. Plays a little 1-2 with Gundogan. Stones has it back. brings in Leroy Sané, who just got in behind Bernard, who was backtracking, who's just switched to the right. But the touch from Sané let him down again.
I'll tell you what, good play from John Stones. Love to play from the back, little 1-2. I was just thinking Sané might header that across. He's gone to control it with his left foot. Thankfully, miscontrolled it, gone out for a goal kick. But yeah, it was a decent ball from John Stones. He's got in yet again behind the Everton back four, but I thought he was going to head it across the 6-yard box.
I know we've had 35 minutes. Pickford hasn't had a save to make yet. I know they struck the crossbar and Laporte had a headed opportunity which went wide, but in terms of goal-scoring opportunities, they're few and far between,
No,
really.
that's right. I think the back four will be delighted. So far, it's a clean sheet.
Very, very important. Goalless at Goodison. 10 minutes of the first half remaining. John Joe Kenny, right-hand side, wins a throw-in off Leroy Sané. Picked up by Pep Guardiola to return the ball to John Joe Kenny, who takes the throw-in. Idrissa Gueye knocks it back into feet for John Joe Kenny, all the way back to Michael Keane, and in turn to goalkeeper Jordan Pickford. Pickford's long clearance towards the left clips off the head of Tom Davies into the path of Bernard. Bernard ran into John Stones in the end, who got across to block his path to goal. Throw-in's taken quickly, and Bernard has received it and almost got the better of Kyle Walker there. The ball's out for a throw-in, Bullen's Road side of the ground in front of the Manchester City fans.
I think we're going to have a long throw as well. Michael Keane and Zuma have just both made their way up here. We know Luca Dean throws a decent long ball, so hopefully little flick on here, and can Davies or Gomez get on the end of this?
Here it is, long from Lucas Dean in towards Michael Keane, but the header away was by Kyle Walker. It's cleared to the halfway line, where the referee's given City a free kick for a foul on Aguero. The City fans, you could hear asking for that free kick, and Craig Pawson responded.
Yeah, just having a look at Marcos Silva as well, asking Mike Dean down there, what is that all about? I think it had gone over Aguero's head, all right. Yeah. Idrissa Gueye was slightly behind him and holding slightly, but the ball had gone well over him.
Only 2 clean sheets for Everton in the last 12 Premier League games. It's something that the defenders and Jordan Pickford will be very conscious of, and it'll be quite an achievement should they manage to obtain one against a Manchester City side who've scored in the last 15 games in all competitions since a 2-0 loss at Chelsea on the 8th of December. City are in possession, halfway line, left-hand side. Laporte's ball into feet for David Silva, whose control is brilliant, as you'd expect, into the penalty area. Little ball into feet for Aguero, blocked by Kurt Zuma, corner City.
Great little take it were from Silva there, just looking, play an intricate pass just into Aguero's feet. Again, decent defending by our boys there.
Yeah, David
just
Silva's
always on edge when they're in and around our 18-yard box.
33 now, David Silva, but still got the touch of the magician that he's been nicknamed. Corner from Gundogan is sent deep to the corner of the Everton 6-yard box. It's away, picked up by Kyle Walker and knocked out towards Bernardo Silva, who plays in Aguero down the right edge of the 18-yard box, and Aguero gets it on his left foot and then clips it into the penalty area towards the head of Fernandinho, but it was Lucas Dean who got something on it, picked up outside the penalty area by Leroy Sané. Now Gundogan 10 yards outside the box, worked back towards the centre circle for Kyle Walker. Fernandinho takes over and uses Bernardo Silva out on the Bullen's Road side of the ground. City still in possession. Aguero way outside the penalty area, hounded by Andre Gomez, who wins possession back for Everton. Now Bernard on the ball, halfway line, turns back to his left-hand side where he's got support from Andre Gomez. First-time ball was beyond Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and it runs through to Ederson.
Yeah, he did well in the first place, Gomez, winning the ball back, then played it to Bernard, but then his second pass to Dominic Calvert-Lewin wasn't really on. Played with too much pace. City had got defenders back, and he's usually got more guile than that, more quality than that, Gomez.
Kyle Walker sprays one to the left. Leroy Sané heads it back in field because he was positioned on the left touchline. It finds Laporte. He uses Leroy Sané again, drifting towards the penalty area. He's got 2 Blues to contend with, Idrissa Gueye and Theo Walcott. Uses Laporte and turns it back to the halfway line. Now it's with John Stones, centre circle. City have it. Fernandinho now. David Silva. looking to his left. Instead plays it short towards Fernandinho. Idrissa Gueye closed him down and got the challenge in. The loose ball is picked up by City again. Laporte plays it in for Leroy Sané. Corner of the penalty area, offside.
Tell you what, that's several times now he's been caught offside. Must be so frustrating for Pep and the Man City players that he just keeps drifting offside. Thankfully for Evertonians and for the boys on the pitch, he thankfully keeps drifting offside.
Free kick to Everton. It's just outside the box.
There's no doubt, Ali, he's a match winner on his day. They've got several match winners, and you look at the bench and you think, wow, they've got 3 or 4 more that can come on there and turn a game in. De Bruyne, in Sterling, in Jesus, Mahrez as well. So
no doubt we'll see 1 or 2 of those in the second half. Oh, good header by Calvert-Lewin. He won that well, and Walcott then wrapped it into Otamendi in his attempt to get it across the 6-yard box and wins a corner.
Yeah, he rose well there.
He did.
Calvert-Lewin.
Corner, Everton. Opportunity here. 4.5 minutes away from the end of the first 45. And Lucas Dean this time has come across to take the corner for Everton. The £18 million acquisition from Barcelona in the summer. Will swing this one in left-footed towards the City 6-yard box. There it goes towards Kurt Zouma, who just missed it as he flew in. Cleared as far as Bernard, whose shot is deflected kindly for City and picked up by Kyle Walker. Away with it towards the halfway line. Checks back and uses John Stones. City have nowhere to go but to use Otamendi, and they're still inside their own half. And Fernandinho uses Laporte. Aymeric Laporte is closed down by Theo Walcott, who's done well for Everton, and then the touch from Idrissa Gueye just took it too far ahead of Tom Davies, so Otamendi is forced to clear off Davies and out for a throw.
Yeah, I think we're working Man City's midfield and back four quite hard when we possibly can, closing down in the right areas. Again, Tom Davies there, making himself known to the City defence that you ain't going to rely, you ain't going to play from the back.
Yep, closed down quickly, pressured. Scouse goalie says, so good to hear Alan Owen and Snods back together again. Oh, must be a former Radio City listener, obviously.
Darren's crying in Vietnam.
No, he's not at all. He's listening intently, enjoying every minute of it. Here's Leroy Sané playing it into the path of Bernardo Silva. Gundogan, Kyle Walker going ahead of him with support. Now it's back with Bernardo Silva. His ball into the penalty area is headed away by John Joe Kenny. It's not quite clear yet, and Kurt Zouma hesitated. Leroy Sané tried to head it into the path of Aguero inside the 18-yard box. That didn't come off, and Everton have cleared again, but Laporte has it for Manchester City. Now back on the halfway line with Otamendi. Here's John Stones. Stones picks out David Silva, who's allowed space and time to turn. That could be fatal at some stage in the game. Falls for Gundogan, who's, well, harried off the ball by Andre Gomez. City were looking for a free kick, which wasn't forthcoming. Fernandinho picks up, goes past Gomez, clips the ball into Leroy Sané, who's got him behind his offside. Great save, Pickford. Anyway, the flag had been raised. Pickford might not have known that. He produced the save. Sané flagged offside.
Was there a penalty in there, Al? The Man City players looked as though they were appealing for a penalty. Definitely he is offside, there's no question about that, but was it David Silva or was it just pick the ball up here?
Yeah. I think it was Gundogan.
Yeah, it was Gundogan with Gomez there.
Was he pulled back by Gomez?
I don't think it was much of a pullback. I think it was just a clip of the foot. I've seen him give him, but thankfully it wasn't.
I think a determination on Gomez's part to get a foot in, but that can go horribly wrong at times, can't it? And thankfully he got away with it. And on we go as Calvert-Lewin wins another header. John Stones clears into the Everton half, and Michael Keane could safely head back to his goalkeeper. Ball is with Everton and Lucas Dean as we head towards the final minute of the first 45 at Goodison Park. Kurt Zouma driving a ball forward, which dissected Calvert-Lewin and Walcott. So City have possession once more. Fernandinho inside his own half, back with John Stones. Halfway line, just right of the centre circle, plays it into feet for Gundogan. Now Bernardo Silva. His cut back towards Fernandinho wasn't precise, and Idrissa Gueye was in the way to clear. Calvert-Lewin will put Otamendi under pressure. Otamendi did win the header, though. John Stones picks up. David Silva has it centre circle. In his attempt to find Leroy Sané, it comes off Walcott and goes out for a throw into City. Halfway line, taken by Laporte. Back with Nicolas Otamendi. Former Valencia man uses Kyle Walker, who cost just the 45 million from Tottenham when he came in 2017.
I think the average price now is 45, 46.
You're right. Here's Fernandinho. Just the 1 minute of stoppage time to play here as Leroy Sané has possession on the left-hand side where he's been for the vast majority of the game. He gave it to Fernandinho, who was subsequently fouled, and it is Idrissa Gueye committing that foul, and it's a free kick to City.
Yeah, in a dangerous area as well. Just a minute to go before half-time, and it's an opportunity to put a decent ball in Man City here.
Yeah, and if you're wondering where the area is, think Wolves' second goal on Saturday.
Yeah.
Similar position, one that can be dinked into the penalty area or angled in behind the Everton back line, which at the moment is positioned almost bang on the edge of the 18-yard box, and that's a high line.
It is an high line, because I think he's going to aim for probably the penalty spot.
And this will probably be the last play of the first half, because the 1 minute of stoppage time is almost up on my watch, and the free kick is going to be taken by David Silva by the looks of it. Although Gundogan is there, David Silva swings it in, and the header is in. And it's Laporte who's done it, and Everton are undone from a set piece again, and it was almost a replica of that second goal that Everton conceded against Wolves. This time it was a little deeper, floated further back towards the far side of the penalty area. Laporte rose and headed back across goal beyond a despairing dive of Jordan Pickford, and Manchester City have the lead bang on half-time.
There's no question about it. It's a terrific ball in, and it's a terrific header. Jordan Pickford's got absolutely no chance of getting to that. It's a terrific header, but once again we've been done from a set play, from a free kick. He's got a free header. Gomez, Zuma in that position. Yeah. It's just a free header. There's no question about it. You can go on about the delivery, you can go on about the header, but an Everton player has got to go and compete and prevent that from being a free header.
And that is half-time at Goodison Park. What a horrible way for Everton to end the first half, after they'd battled and showed commitment, desire, a fair bit of application too, and restricted Manchester City to few opportunities. To concede so late on is infuriating for the players, infuriating for Marco Silva, infuriating for the fans, infuriating for everybody listening.
Marco Silva will have been delighted with that first half performance, but as soon as that free kick happened, you know that this crowd as well, with all the free kicks, all the goals were conceded from set plays, would have been holding the breath and thinking, come on, it can't happen again. And it has happened again. Just a delivery in, free header, there you go, 1-0 down. When are we going to stop free kicks getting put into the right areas and go and compete? Simple as that. It's happened 12 times now.
Do you think that is down to zonal marking, or?
I don't think that was zonal marking. No. You would line up anyway like that. For a free kick like that, whether you played in the 70s, 80s, 90s or whatever, you would line up.
And you've still got responsibility with zonal marking anyway, haven't you?
Yeah, but I don't think that was zonal marking. Now, we were lined up properly. I just think we've lost a player. It's as simple as that. Yeah. Whoever's supposed to be marking him has lost his man, and he's given him a free header. That is just concentration, and that's desire to stop the opposition from scoring.
Very, very disappointing. Everton trail Manchester City at half-time by that Laporte header. Everton 0, Manchester City 1. Please do rejoin myself and Ian Snowden for the second half on evertonfc.com. We will take a short break, catch our breath a little, be back with the second half in due course. Everton 0, Manchester City 1 at half-time. a warm welcome back from Alan Irwin and Ian Snowden at Goodison Park, EvertonFC.com. You are listening to full commentary on Everton against Manchester City. The teams are back out for the second half, unchanged. Everton trailing through that late goal in stoppage time at the end of the first half from Aymeric Laporte. His fourth goal of the season, his second in the Premier League. Everton undone by a set piece again. Off we go for the second half. Everton attacking the Gladys Street goal away to our left-hand side. Immediately send the ball forward. Tom Davies chases Otamendi, puts it into the fans on the Bullens Road side of the ground, and it's a throw into Everton level with the 18-yard box.
Yeah, such a disappointing way to end the first half, but hopefully we can get back into this game as quickly as possible. Don't know where the goals are coming from, really. We've not really threatened the Man City goal.
And the problems that Everton have had this season, unfortunately, they've not won any of the 11 Premier League games when they have conceded first. They've drawn 2 and lost 9. And the first, it just shows you the importance of the first goal in a Premier League game. Clash of heads here between Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Laporte, and it's a serious
I think it's Theo Walcott, Al.
Oh, sorry.
On that far side,
it is,
and
you're
Laporte.
Right. Yeah, and
but
they've both gone down immediately.
I think the lad slipped into him. Oh, dear me.
Yeah, he's clattered into his... He's hit him heavily in the back, hasn't he? And
yeah, I don't know what he was trying to do, because he was getting nowhere near the ball. I don't think he went to actually collide with Theo Walcott, but I tell you what, he looked a nasty collision.
Do you think he did slip?
I'm looking at it again now. I don't think he did slip. I think he just run into him.
Ashley's been in touch with us. Hashtag EFC Live from Edge Hill, but listening all the way from Gore, New Zealand. Cheers for the commentary. Ashley James Stewart, you are very welcome, sir. Enjoy it if you possibly can. Everton are trailing by 1-0, and we've got a lengthy stoppage while Laporte and Theo Walcott, my apologies, it wasn't Dominic Calvert-Lewin. It's because he rose so well.
Yeah, I was going to say. There's about 2 foot difference in them, Al.
Yeah. My glasses are now on for the second half.
They are. I didn't know you wore glasses.
Only for nighttime commentary.
I thought only your wife wore glasses, married to you.
No.
If you're listening, Mrs. Irwin,
she will
you're
not,
too good for it.
She will not be listening, I can assure you. She is enough of me. So, no, she wants a night in, peaceful, on her own, and she's got one. EFC Live is the hashtag, and AW18781 says, great commentary, boys. Tony the Toffee listening in gloriously warm Solihull.
Solihull?
Solihull. You can imagine Solihull near Birmingham is no warmer than we are. So, Tony, thanks very much. You're not missing any of the action because these two players are still receiving treatment on the pitch here. And a play held up a couple of minutes into the second half. 171 previous league meetings, you know, between these two snods. And you know how close it is?
Yeah, I would reckon these very, very close. Yeah. I reckon 2 or 3 either way.
Yeah, spot on.
Is it?
Everton have won 62, City have won 65.
Right.
So, and most of City's dominance has been in the latter years, really. Everton certainly dominated in the preceding years before City's lavish expenditure managed to bring them more than a star player or two. Can't see it changing either.
No, it's they're quite dominant, aren't they? City in the transfer market as well as a club now. The wealth will just grow because they're in the Champions League as well.
Well, Laporte will have to go off. Theo Walcott will have to go off. They're both back on the feet and okay, thankfully, and the verdict is a free kick for Everton. And over the ball at the moment, Bernard. And now it's Manchester City's turn to position themselves right on the edge of the penalty area. It's an identical position on the opposite side of the field to where City scored, really, at the end of the first half. So Bernard will take this free kick. No, in fact, he leaves it for Lucas Digne, who puts it in just over the head of Kurt Zouma. And it is a touch off a City player, finally. It's an Everton corner. Nearest of flicks, takes it behind for an Everton corner on this near side, the main stand side of the ground.
I'll tell you what, that was a decent ball put in as well there.
Yeah.
Just slightly above Zouma.
Yeah, touch off Fernandinho, I think, was the final one, which results in this Everton corner. And Lucas Digne again has gone across to take. The French international will deliver this as an outswinger, really, from this near side, the Everton left. He's hit it with power. It's headed away by City as far as Idrissa Gueye. He's a long way from goal, but he hits it. And it was on target. It was plucked out of the air by Ederson.
Tell you what, he must have been 40 yards out there.
It was speculative.
It was comfortable in the end, but it was a decent strike on target.
Ball is now out of play on this near side. Kyle Walker will take the throw in. Fernandinho collects. City lead by 1-0. And the ball is with Gundogan inside the Everton half. Inside for Bernardo Silva. On to David Silva. Silva just outside the box. Plays it to the left edge for Leroy Sané. Not sure what that was.
That was a cross for Aguero, believe me, that went wrong.
Into the arms of Pickford. Yeah. It was a rather nonchalant strike with the outside of his boot, wasn't it? Strange. City in possession again. Fernandinho, the Brazilian. 33 now, Fernandinho, so he's not going to go on forever in the heart of the City midfield.
No, he isn't. I didn't really... I'm not saying I didn't rate him. Oh, here we go. No, Michael Keane's covered that. I'm not saying I didn't rate him. I didn't know what to expect. Said very rare I've seen City live and everything. I knew he was a decent player, but it weren't until they played Liverpool at the Etihad that I realised then, wow, what player. So I thought that day he was exceptional.
Here's John Joe Kenny for Everton. Right touchline. Idrissa Gueye inside the City half, over on that Bullens Road side of the ground. Inside for Andre Gomez. Bit of possession here for Everton as Idrissa Gueye finds Tom Davis, skips away from David Silva.
That's got to be a booking, surely.
Well, the card stays in the pocket of Craig Pawson as Tom Davis is left on the turf.
I would have thought that's a booking all day long now.
Yeah, it's Fernandinho right up the backside of Tom Davis and sent Davis clattering to the Goodison turf.
I think Luca Dino's fancies chances from this distance, Al. He's got a sweet left foot, we know that.
It's a long way out.
It is a long way out.
It's very central as well, which maybe makes things a little more awkward for the keeper in terms of how he positions a wall, if he even wants one.
Yeah, I don't think he'll line up. I think probably one in the wall, and two maximum from that distance. But you just see us lining up. I don't think you can get it up and down anyway for anybody to get in contact. And Michael Keane's gone up there. I think it's just going to be a strike on goal. There's no question about it.
Well, they've got Brazilian Bernard there. He should be capable as well from this sort of range. Lucas Digne, we've already seen produce this season from free kicks for Everton. There's a four-man Manchester City wall. It is Lucas Digne. It's into the wall. Comes out as far as Bernard. And his poke out to the left takes the ball out of play for a throw-in, actually.
Yeah, very disappointing in the end, wasn't it? The build-up, we thought Lucas Digne, we've seen him strike from distance, seen him score some terrific free kicks. And, just hit it into the wall. Came to nothing.
Everton trailing by 1-0. They've only failed to score, of course, in one home Premier League game this season. That was the game against Leicester here on New Year's Day. Here's Michael Keane heading back to his goalkeeper, Jordan Pickford, who has the ball in his grasp and drops it on the edge of his penalty area to go long and clears up towards Dominic Calvert-Lewin. It runs through and beyond him and Bernard, and Kyle Walker is there for Manchester City to lash it off Bernard, where it balloons high up into the air and Walker heads it when it finally comes down. Gomez tries to retrieve. It's back with Kyle Walker, and he can clear up towards the centre circle. Michael Keane steps in ahead of Aguero, though, to win it for Everton. Davis is trying to keep it alive. Fernandinho gets a foot in, and it's an Everton throw.
Yeah, we're starting to get to the bounce of the ball now. We're starting to bite in the tackle as well, letting Man City know that they are in a game. They ain't going to find this easy if they want to go away with all 3 points.
Last season here, Everton were beaten 3-1 by Manchester City. Yannick Bolasie was the Everton goal scorer that day. The season before, of course, was the great 4-0 victory over Pep Guardiola's side, when Davis and Lookman were on the score sheet.
Yeah, that's right. Lookman's first touch, weren't it?
Yeah.
I'll remember.
Yeah, it was indeed. The great day that. January 2017, a 4-0 thumping of Manchester City. Remains Pep Guardiola's heaviest Premier League defeat. Here's Nicolas Otamendi in possession for Manchester City. Now on the halfway line, Gundogan turns it inside for John Stones, who's just left his centre-back position and swept it out wide, and too wide for Leroy Sané. It's into the City fans. Never make a midfielder, that John Stones.
No. I wondered if John Stones could play as an holding midfield player. He's elegant, he's comfortable on the ball, sees a pass, just sitting in there as an England player as well.
Yeah, I think he could. Given time, he's still a relatively young lad, 24, John Stones. Andre Gomez now picking up for Everton and spreading it wide to the Everton left, where Bernard has it. And he's faced by Bernardo Silva. Skips inside of him one way, then the other, uses Lucas Dean, who wins a throw-in off Silva. Throw-in about 30 yards from the corner flag on the left-hand side. Everton 0, Manchester City 1. And Lucas Dean will take this throw-in for Everton. Short for Idrissa Gueye. Here's Andre Gomez. Played out to John Joe Kenny. Now Theo Walcott. Kenny goes slightly outside of him, but it's back infield to Andre Gomez. Takes a return pass from Tom Davis and then gets himself into a bit of trouble. Aguero got a foot in, and Manchester City look to break with Leroy Sané. Everton are getting men back here. Gomez got some sort of challenge in, held up Leroy Sané, and Fernandinho now plays it out to the left-hand side for Bernardo Silva. David Silva, I should say. Told you there's too many Silvas.
There is too many Silvas.
This is Bernardo Silva now on the right. And here's Otamendi back inside the City half. Now Laporte for Otamendi again.
Mike Dean's got his board ready. I think we're going to see a substitute, Sal. I don't know
First
which
change
side.
of the night, yes.
He's looking at the Man City bench, so I presume it's coming from...
Just as City are playing now, with John Stones vacating his centre-back position, is what they were doing against Arsenal on Sunday when Fernandinho started at centre-back, and every time City had possession, he was moving into a midfield role. And it looks like Stones has got that job now as City come forward with Aguero, who's fed by Fernandinho. He's played it out wide for Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva has cut it back to Kyle Walker, edge of the penalty area. He hits one, blocked by Idrissa Gueye, picked up again by Kyle Walker. And he plays it to Bernardo Silva again. Now Gundogan, who's got space inside the penalty area, clips it in. It's off the head of Kurt Zouma. Pickford's come for it, and the overhead kick has gone wide from Aguero. Well, you expect Aguero, even though it was an overhead kick, to almost put that in the back of the net.
Yeah, he did. Pickford looked as though he got to come through a couple.
Cleared. Destination out of order. connected. Searching. Framed.
Well, welcome back to Goodison Park. Apologies to all our listeners. Connection lost. Some gremlins in our feed here at Goodison. We're back with you as Everton have a corner on the far side, Bullens Road side of the ground. They still trail by a goal to nil. Lucas Dean swings in the corner. Keane tries to get his head on it. It was behind him somewhat. It's cleared by City as far as the centre circle area for John Joe Kenny, who plays it out wide to Lucas Dean, who took it well on his chest. He's forced towards the corner quadrant and manages to keep the ball in place somehow, but Raheem Sterling wins it from him and City come away with it. Everton, by the way, have made a substitution. Andre Gomez has been withdrawn and Gylfi Sigurdsson is the man who has come on for the Blues.
Yeah, Gylfi's going to play in that role, number 10, and he's going to hopefully try and force a way through this Man City back four. I'm sure he'll be picking the ball up and trying to feed in Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Theo Walcott and Bernard as well.
Everton in possession as we say hello to Adam, listening on his way to work in Brisbane, all the way in Australia. Adam Morgan, hello to you, and hopefully we can find you a goal in the final 25 minutes or so of this game. Everton 0, Manchester City 1. Laporte's goal separating the two sides. It came in stoppage time at the end of the first half. But the game is by no means one-sided.
Really isn't. He's there for us.
It's not done yet by any stretch of the imagination. Some way to go and plenty left in the tank yet as far as Everton are concerned. City have possession inside their own half with Otamendi, who plays it to his left for Laporte. Again, Stones has taken up that position almost alongside Fernandinho, but as soon as Everton win possession back, he drops back into centre-back and Sigurdsson plays it to Lucas Dean. Now Tom Davies inside the centre circle in the City half. Now Idrissa Gueye just right of centre, uses John Joe Kenny. Theo Walcott back with Idrissa Gueye. Still just 10 yards inside the City half. Now played out wide to John Joe Kenny. On for Theo Walcott, who's just outside the penalty area. Well, it was the right ball, really.
It was the right ball. He was unlucky there. Theo. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's just made a movement inside the two Man City defenders, just slightly over it. But it was telling pass from Theo Walcott.
Yeah, just tried to slide Dominic Calvert-Lewin in, but caught on his heels somewhat. Here's Tom Davies now for Everton, who've got possession again. The possession count is not maybe what many would have anticipated before this game got underway. Everton have had a fair share of the ball, and they have it here. Admittedly inside their own half, but Michael Keane uses goalkeeper Jordan Pickford. Now Kurt Zouma on the edge of his own penalty area. A rather dangerous place to play, but Everton do play their way out, and Michael Keane has it again from Tom Davies and looks forward towards Dominic Calvert-Lewin. It runs beyond him, and John Stones picks up for City.
Yeah, it's a difficult ball that into Calvert-Lewin. It's a 50-50 ball where he's got a challenge. Then if he gets hold of it, he's got no support up there. Just like to see us play it in the midfield a little bit.
Everton were in the game for a long time as well at Manchester City earlier in the season, weren't they? When they did go down to that 3-1 defeat, Dominic really Calvert-Lewin got them right back into it, and then Everton quickly conceded again. Balls with Kyle Walker on the right edge of his own penalty area. He clears towards Gundogan. He brings it down well, and he brings in John Stones, who turns to use his goalkeeper. And Ederson puts his foot through it first time up towards the halfway line. Seemed to hold up a bit in the wind, although I didn't think there was that much of it tonight. Here's Gundogan. He's got players free to his left. One of them's Raheem Sterling, who's just inside the penalty area, brings it down, gets it on his right foot, runs into Tom Davies, who got enough of a challenge in, but it's a poor clearance, picked up by David Silva. His shot is blocked. Now Sterling, his shot takes a deflection and goes just over Pickford's crossbar.
He had a couple of opportunities there to clear his lines, kick it into the stand, whatever. We got some good blocks in the end. Sterling had one, Silva had one. Thankfully, drifted over the crossbar with a deflection. It's resulted in yet another corner kick for Manchester City.
And Daniel says, great commentary, lads, listening in a non-exotic location on the sofa at home in London with Rooney, the border terrier. Hello, Daniel. Enjoy. Here's David Silva. The corner was played short. It's headed away by Kurt Zouma from David Silva's delivery. back to the halfway line, and Raheem Sterling turns it all the way back to his goalkeeper, Ederson, who's 10 yards outside of his box, and launches it long for the run of Bernardo Silva, and Kurt Zouma backpedaling, got his head on it, only succeeded in giving it to Gundogan. Gundogan finds Aguero outside the penalty area, and Aguero is thwarted by a combination of challenges, the final one from Idrissa Gueye. Then Sigurdsson sends it forward into the City half for Bernard. Bernard is held up by Kyle Walker, and now City want to break themselves. Kyle Walker in possession, Bernardo Silva to his right. Here is Bernardo Silva. He's got Gundogan and Aguero inside the penalty area. Here's Gundogan. Gundogan's cut back falls kindly for David Silva. His shot is blocked by Tom Davies and picked up by Gylfi Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson for Everton, finding Theo Walcott, who drifts past Fernandinho, tries to pull him back. Referee's trying to play an advantage and does so. Walcott still has it. Now he's got support from Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson trying to get it onto his right foot for a shot. Closed down by Stones. Now City have it, and it's their turn to break. Like a basketball game.
Bit end-to-end at the minute. Richarlison's coming on as well, Daz. I'm losing it, Al.
You're so used to having him alongside you, it's understandable. Darren is hopefully still with us.
I think, yeah, let's hope so. I think when the ball goes out of play, I think he'll book Fernandinho
for a deliberate pullback on Theo Walcott. The referee tried to play an advantage, he did, but it just didn't quite materialise for Everton.
Well, he's been pulled up a couple of times, not gone into the referee's notebook, so I think definitely when this ball goes out of play, he's got to be...
Walcott again playing the ball just the wrong side of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. You don't want to portion blame for situations like that, but is it Walcott's run or Walcott's pass? Calvert-Lewin's run or Walcott's pass that's wrong?
I thought it was a pass.
Here's Stones. Now Bernardo Silva. Down that right-hand side for City. Short ball into Kyle Walker, who gives it him back. And the compliment is returned to Kyle Walker, who finds Otamendi. Now Laporte. Wide it goes for Raheem Sterling. City just slowing it down, content in possession. Happy for Everton to work hard to win the ball back. City will pass you to death and pass the ball all evening, as they do now. Back to goalkeeper Ederson, who's not bad with his feet either, to say the least. He's calm and cool and composed as he just plays it short for Fernandinho, who gets it back from John Stones. Played wide by Fernandinho for Kyle Walker, who's on the halfway line. Now John Stones, still just inside the City half. Stones takes that ball and brings in Gundogan, who's 10 yards outside the box now. City making progress. Gundogan's ball for Raheem Sterling inside the penalty area, back for Gundogan. Nobody wants to get a shot in for City, and in the end Idrissa Gueye does his bit and wins the ball back for Everton. And now he's left in a heap after the ball has gone. Well, we're still not getting a stoppage in play. Idrissa Gueye is down injured, and now the yellow card is coming out for Fernandinho, just as you predicted, Snots.
Yeah, it did. I don't think that was so much of a foul. I think he's left his foot in slightly, but I think the number of tackles he has put in, that he's been reasonably late and slow into it. I think that's just an accumulation of the fouls that he's made.
Well, one Brazilian replaced by another here at Goodison Park, because Bernard has made way for Richarlison with 18 minutes on the clock remaining, plus stoppage time, of course, and there might be a little chunk of that given the earlier reasonably lengthy stoppage in play that we had at the beginning of the second half. Remains Everton 0, Manchester City 1, and a free kick to Everton midway inside their own half is taken by Jordan Pickford, way outside of his penalty area, of course. And the assistant on the far side has penalised Dominic Calvert-Lewin for a foul on Laporte, and it's a free kick to City.
Yeah, just his timing was out a little bit there. Jordan Pickford aiming for our best player in the air, that's Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and just rushed into it, kind of thing.
Free kick City. When they eventually get on with it, there'll be no rush, will they? I suppose
no,
they'll feel 1-0.
Yeah, they'll be delighted with this result. It's been an improved performance by Everton, there's no question about it.
Yeah, from Saturday's showing against Wolves, which resulted in that 3-1 defeat. Idrissa Gueye spreads the play beyond Theo Walcott and out of play. throw in. City, far side. To be taken by Laporte. Going into Raheem Sterling, who flicks it onto the halfway line. Lucas Dean saw what was happening, got there first and headed forward into the City half, where Fernandinho plants it back into Everton territory for Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva here for Manchester City. Looked to see who was outside of him. Nobody. And Everton just close him down and win the ball back. And Richarlison gets a nudge in the back, but no free kick forthcoming from referee Craig Pawson. City play on. Aguero just outside the penalty, a good challenge by a combination of Michael Keane and Idrissa Gueye, and Everton come away with the ball. And now Richarlison checks inside of Kyle Walker, plays it square and across to John Joe Kenny, who got there first ahead of Sterling, picked up by Theo Walcott. Walcott's ball in, doesn't find Calvert-Lewin. City have cleared for a throw in.
Yeah, John Joe Kenny read the situation there, made a sliding tackle, give it to Theo again. But yeah, again, the final delivery of Walcott, just aimless really. I didn't pick anybody out.
And that's overhit by Tom Davis in his attempt to find Richarlison. He's gone out for a throw-in close to the corner flag inside the City half. And we've got exactly 15 of the 90 to play. Everton trailing Manchester City by a 0-0. Marco Silva barking instructions from the touchline. He's lost all 6 of his meetings against Guardiola as Marco Silva. And at the moment, it might be another one. Everton have got time to get back into it yet. Trailed by a 0-0. And they've got Richarlison on the field in terms of a leading goal scorer for the Blues this season. He does have 11 in all. Sigurdsson's on there now as well. Both of those players were on the bench when this side was named today by Marco Silva. They're off the bench now and very much involved in this second half here at Goodison.
Yeah, they've been sloppy at times as well, this second half, Man City. Really are. I think we're giving it a good go. Have we got the quality? Have we got the passion, the drive to go and get that equaliser?
Calvert-Lewin out wide for Sigurdsson. The touch is from Otamendi, and out for an Everton throw on the Bullens Road side of the ground. 15 yards inside the City half. John Joe Kenny will take this throw in for Idrissa Gueye.
Cenk Tosun coming on.
Yeah, that'd be the third and final Everton change. Cenk Tosun is going to be the man for Everton as they attempt to get a point from this game. Maybe 3. Here's Idrissa Gueye for the Blues. Switch to the left for Lucas Dean. He's got Richarlison in support. Here is the Brazilian going inside of Kyle Walker across the penalty area and eventually losing out to Gundogan. Ball cleared by City towards Aguero, but John Joe Kenny there for Everton to find Michael Keane. Here's Tom Davis. Halfway line still, Everton in possession. Theo Walcott now down that right-hand side, faced by Laporte. He's going to take him on. Theo Walcott tries to get outside of the Frenchman, checks back inside. Now uses John Joe Kenny, who's there on the touchline far side in support. Inside it comes for Idrissa Gueye. Still midway inside the City half. Kurt Zouma joins in. Plays it to the left for Lucas Dean. Lucas Dean faced by Bernardo Silva, so back it comes for Kurt Zouma. Work back inside for the Senegalese international Idrissa Gueye. Idrissa Gueye for Everton. Played into Richarlison just outside the penalty area. Richarlison trying to weave his way into the box, is crowded out somewhat by those sky blue jerseys of Manchester City who come away with possession.
We've always got to be careful on this counter-attack as well. When we're going forward, do we leave space in behind for this Man City team to attack? But we have got to push forward. We have got to look for the equaliser. We are at home.
Yeah, the onus is on the Blues, isn't it, to try and get back into this game and force an equaliser. There's going to be a couple of changes shortly. Gabriel Jesus is going to come on for City. Cenk Tosun, as Snods hinted at just moments ago, is going to come on for Everton. John Stones is in possession for Manchester City. Gundogan then plants it into the feet of Otamendi. It's going back to Ederson in the Manchester City penalty area. Ederson's ball is only onto the head of Tom Davis. If he could have done more than that, City might have been in trouble. It's gone out for a throw. And here are those changes. First of all, Manchester City are going to take off Sergio Aguero. whose record against Everton is poor. 1 goal for every 358 minutes he's faced against the Blues. His worst goal per minute ratio against any Premier League side.
Tell you what, we know we have got the better of Sergio Aguero. Not many teams do. I knew he's some player. He's some finisher.
Well, he's replaced by Gabriel Jesus, who knows how to finish himself, of course. He has 15 goals this season. Only 5 of them, though, have come in the Premier League. And Theo Walcott makes way as Cenk Tosun comes on for Everton, the third and final change from Everton manager Marco Silva. And we have 11 minutes of the 90 to play. Tosun will get himself involved right from the off, one would think. Can he find Everton an equalising goal? Cenk Tosun is on. So Everton's throw, far side, Bullen's Road side of the ground. Back it goes to the halfway line for Michael Keane. Now John Joe Kenny in for Idrissa Gueye. Kenny again. Lofted forward down that right-hand side, looking for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's just pushed himself further wide now with Cenk Tosun through the middle.
Yeah, I think you've got Richarlison up there as well. Yeah. Dominic Calvert-Lewin certainly going for it, and certainly have to. There's no question about it.
Tom Davies keeps possession, gives it to Idrissa Gueye.
If you're going to lose, Al, you go and lose 2-0, trying to get back into the game rather than just sit there and accept the 1-0 defeat.
Yeah, there's only 10 minutes remaining. That's a good ball from Sigurdsson. Tosun did well to keep it in play, and he's found Lucas Dean, who crosses into the penalty area. Tom Davies is there. Richarlison tries to bring it down. The referee's given a free kick.
How is he getting a free kick? There's 2 defenders in there. Tom Davies has gone to challenge it. That's never a free kick.
Tom Davies looks aghast, really. The ball in from Lucas Dean was lofted in, and what has he done wrong there? How on earth can that be a free kick to Manchester City?
You've got to.
He's given that for a nudge on Fernandinho. He's got to get himself off the floor, hasn't he?
No contact sport this is going to be soon, and it weren't even this much of a contact.
No, you're right. It's the merest of touches. Oh, another free kick, and Gabriel Jesus is fouled, and Kurt Zouma's going to get a yellow card here, and he's rather dismayed by that decision as well. So Kurt Zouma is booked. Saw some strange decisions here on Saturday as well, didn't we?
Did we? Really did. I honestly think the referee has gone down.
Who was it Saturday? Lee Mason Saturday, wasn't it? Who was here Saturday? Lee Mason, referee.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. Oh.
Dreadful.
I think there's a few. I think no wonder. I looked at it and think, no wonder we didn't have anybody in the World Cup.
Yeah, you're right.
I really do think the standard's gone down over the last couple of years or so.
Some of them can't keep pace with the game, can they? Ball's out of play, far side, and it will be a throw-in which Raheem Sterling may just leave to one of the other City players to take, and it will be Laporte who's trotting up to take. It's another few seconds wasted, precious seconds as far as City are concerned. They lead by 1-0 in the closing stages of this one at Goodison Park, as the ball is just about kept in play and put into the penalty area. Pickford's able to collect, and Jordan Pickford will clear. Looking for Richarlison. It's a poor touch from Walker. Richarlison's played in Tosun. Ederson slides into smother at the feet of Cenk Tosun.
Could it have been a better pass from Richarlison?
Yes.
Cenk Tosun seemed to be in there. I just thought Richarlison should have played a better ball. He's got the opportunity. It's got to be better than that.
Yeah, it's too close to the keeper in the end. Ederson read it well, sped off his line and smothered at the feet of the Turkish international. EvertonFC.com. You've been listening to full commentary on this one from Goodison Park. Everton 0, Manchester City 1. Hashtag EFC Live if you want to get involved in the chat for what remains of this game. 7 minutes plus stoppage time. City on the ball inside their own half with Kyle Walker, driven down the right touchline for Bernardo Silva, who's got Lucas Dean to contend with, and Dean will stick with him. Bernardo Silva still has the ball at his feet and tries to play in Kyle Walker, who got ahead of him, and Kyle Walker's committed a foul on Lucas Dean. It's a free kick to Everton. deep inside their own territory. No need for Richarlison to get involved.
No, he's
pulled
right.
away by Lucas Dean.
We remember when he got sent off unnecessarily in the early part of the season.
At Bournemouth.
Yes. We don't want to see that happen again.
Yeah. The merest of connections with the head of Adam Smith, it was, at Bournemouth.
You're so good. Darren, are you listening?
Darren would have recalled that one as well. He likes a headbutt here and there on the pitch.
What Daz doesn't know about Everton is not worth knowing.
Free kick, City, says referee Craig Pawson. Inside their own half. City are happy to just slow the game down, run down the clock, see this game out. 3 points was their objective. 3 points is theirs at the moment, but Everton are trying to make it difficult for them in the closing minutes. 5.5 to be precise remain of the 90. And Everton have regained the ball and launched it long towards Cenk Tosun, and Ederson comes to almost to the edge of his penalty area to pluck it out of the air, and Tosun has been felled and hurt in the process.
Yeah, Otamendi as well, but the keeper's waving the physio on very quickly, the Everton physio.
Be another stoppage here as Ederson is concerned for the welfare of Cenk Tosun, who's only been on the field a couple of minutes, but he was caught here as he just clattered into the body of Ederson. He couldn't stop his run, really, and I think his head careered into the midriff of Ederson.
Did it now?
So he's just felt the force of the Brazilian international goalkeeper. He only cost 35 million, Ederson, bit of a snip.
Yeah.
Good keeper, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Done well for them. Certainly fits into the Guardiola style of football.
Yeah, without a doubt. He shows he didn't fancy Joe Hart.
Yeah. Does anyone fancy Joe Hart?
No, yeah.
And Burnley have been transformed since he was dropped.
The lad Eaton has done really well.
39,322 inside Goodison. Fairly familiar figure because that is virtually a full house at Goodison Park. And on the clock, 4 minutes remain, but I suspect we'll get about 5 minutes of stoppage time.
Yeah, I think there will be. I think we're looking at 8 to 9 minutes altogether, Al, and
time yet for Everton
have we got a chance in us?
Yeah, time for Everton to hopefully carve out a decent opportunity, which they must take, trailing by 1-0. Here's Bernardo Silva for Manchester City. Tosun's okay, by the way, and back involved on the pitch as Everton regain possession with a Richarlison, prepared to take on Kyle Walker. Walker's touch takes the ball out of play for an Everton throw-in, about 20 yards from the corner flag, left-hand side, main stand side of the ground. Everton attacking the Gladys Street goal in this second half.
Long throw again, Al. Zuma gone up, Keane. Can we get something from this? Can we get his head on it in the first place? Direct it back into that 6-yard box.
Every man back for City now. It's their turn to defend in numbers as Lucas Dean launches it long. It's off a City head and under the crossbar of Ederson, who manages to hold on to it despite the pressure, and he drops on the ball in his 6-yard box.
Kevin De Bruyne coming on for the last 5 minutes as well.
Oh, just what you want, eh?
Surely can't do anything in the last 5 minutes.
Well, he's a talented individual.
He certainly is.
Kevin De Bruyne, the man who Chelsea let go, of course. Another one that Jose Mourinho maybe didn't quite see the potential of at a younger age. Doesn't like the youngsters, does he, Jose?
No, he doesn't seem to, does he? How things have changed for them as well since...
yes, transformed. Final change of the night is the Manchester City one, which sees David Silva make way for Kevin De Bruyne. The Belgian international, £55 million worth of talent from Wolfsburg back in 2015.
What chance you got? You bring David Silva off and you put Kevin De Bruyne on.
Yeah, pretty much sums matters up.
I think we get a good account of ourselves though today.
Yeah,
I really do
right.
this evening. I think we've stuck to it. You're talking about a good Man City side, a very good Man City side, and we're in it right to the end of the game.
Yeah. Certainly still in it, with 90 seconds plus stoppage time or thereabouts remaining. So the full complement of substitutes made by both sides as we head towards stoppage time here. Michael Keane clears the ball from the right edge of his penalty area, up towards the halfway line, steered back to goalkeeper Ederson by Manchester City, and cleared long towards Bernardo Silva. Lucas Digne is with him, and Bernardo Silva kept the ball in play at the expense of giving it to Lucas Digne, and cleared by Kurt Zouma. Digne trying to pick up again, and does so. Breaks for Richarlison, but then he stood on the ball, and breaks for Kevin De Bruyne to collect. Richarlison gets a tackle in. Kyle Walker picks up the loose ball and plays it forward into the Everton half. Kurt Zouma sees his clearance blocked by Bernardo Silva, but does recover and retrieve and clear up towards Cenk Tosun. Now City, right-hand side, have possession inside the Everton half. Gylfi Sigurdsson, though, steals it back. Now Richarlison, crowded out somewhat. It is a throw-in. The final touch was off. Final touch looked like it was off a City player to me, but the referee and the assistant have given the throw-in to City. And we're going to get 7 minutes of stoppage time.
7 minutes?
7 minutes.
Has the black cat been on again? That's what we got last week when the cat was on.
Yeah, 4 of it was for the cat, wasn't it? Stole the show, the cat, on Saturday. Man of the match. So, stoppage time at Goodison Park. Can Everton find themselves an equaliser somehow? Can they put pressure on Ederson's goal in stoppage time at the end of this game? Manchester City in possession. They will feel that's all they need in stoppage time to keep Everton at bay. Bernardo Silva, corner quadrant inside the Everton half. Ball put out by Lucas Digne for a throw into City, just yards from that corner flag.
He did well there, Bernardo Silva, because I thought the ball was going out of play, and I thought, deep inside her own half, but be a long throwing up the line, and City is still on the attack.
Yeah, Bernardo Silva has taken that throw, and finally City do win a corner. The final touch off an Everton player, said the assistant. on this near
You
side.
can always tell with a player's reaction the way that...
Yeah.
And Kurt Zuma, Drissa Gay, Richarlison, all appealing for it. I'm sure that was.
Yeah, and City didn't really appeal.
Absolutely, it was an Everton throw. It's come off his left foot.
It's actually a corner, isn't it? They've been awarded, which they've taken short. Here is Bernardo Silva, who's played it in brilliantly to Raheem Sterling, who's trying to get around Luca Dean. Still Sterling, and the ricochet takes the ball for Everton to clear from inside the penalty area and possibly break here. Cenk Tosun's played a ball in behind Kyle Walker. Richarlison can get there. City are now getting men back. Everton are getting men forward. Richarlison's ball in is looped off a City head and bounces kindly for Ederson.
Decent counter-attack there, and Richarlison's quick, but so is Kyle Walker, to be fair, and again, it just came to nothing. No quality put into the penalty box.
So stoppage time, 2 minutes of it played at Goodison, another 5 to play. Everton 0, Manchester City 1. Thanks for your company tonight on evertonfc.com and those that have been involved via the hashtag EFC Live. We'll do it all again on Saturday, of course. Snods, you'll be at Watford, will you? For
Yes, I'm travelling down to Watford, travelling down on Saturday morning after I've been to the gym.
Of course.
Of course.
And Darren will be heading straight to Watford from Vietnam.
He certainly will.
Did he fly to Watford from Vietnam?
He'll probably have a bit of jet lag, will he?
Yes. Something like that, to say the least. You'll have to keep him on his toes, Snods.
Oh, I do it every week.
As City win a corner in stoppage time.
They're just trying to run this clock down, aren't they?
Yeah.
See the game out. They're usually good at managing that as well.
Well, it's very important to them, isn't it, in their quest for successive Premier League titles. They will go top tonight, having played a game more than you-know-who. Here's Bernardo Silva. Now Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker's going backwards into the City half for John Stones, and likewise it goes all the way back to goalkeeper Ederson.
He's not holding back anymore, is he? He's knocking everything long. They're not playing out.
Long ball towards Raheem Sterling was dealt with well by John Joe Kenny.
He did do well. He was under immense pressure there.
You had to watch that all the way as well. It was in the air for a long time. So it's out of play on this near side now. The Manchester City right, the Everton left, and it's a City throw. Again, they'll just throw down the line here and try and run down the clock. We've now played 4 minutes of the 7 that were indicated for stoppage time. Kyle Walker's long throw towards Jesus, cleared by Everton. Forward from Idrissa Gueye into the City half, and Cenk Tosun putting John Stones under pressure, but it is cleared by Kyle Walker. Sent back by John Joe Kenny into the City half. Fernandinho's there, then Gundogan. Headed away by Keane. Breaks for Calvert-Lewin to pick up and find Lucas Dean 10 yards inside the City half. Now inside for Richarlison. Blocked by Kevin De Bruyne. Throw in Everton.
How long? 2?
Yeah, 2.5.
2.5 to go. Come
remaining.
On, boys.
Can Everton find an equalising goal? Not like that. The ball's out of play for a City throw, unfortunately, inside the Manchester City half. Just 10 yards on this near side. 10 yards from the halfway line, I should say, is the City throw. And time is running out as far as Everton are concerned. City, as it stands, will pick up their 8th away win of this Premier League season. It will also be their 7th away Premier League clean sheet of the campaign. It will be their 10th victory from their last 11 games in all competitions. They are a side back in form. Everton have certainly made them work for this one tonight, though. Ball is out of play for what will be, in fact, it's a free kick the referee's given here on Jordan Pickford outside of his penalty area to take. Because
come on, referee.
Less than 90 seconds on my watch.
What is the matter with you?
Rather picky of referee Craig Pawson to push Jordan Pickford back another 2 yards. Here is the free kick. Pickford's delivery up towards Michael Keane, who'd gone forward. It's over him, over Calvert-Lewin. Away by Fernandinho, into the feet of Kevin De Bruyne, who's now inside the Everton half, down the left-hand side, in front of the City fans on that Bullens Road side. And Kevin De Bruyne goes past his man, is fouled, and that will result in a free kick. It was Dominic Calvert-Lewin who brought him down.
Yeah, silly free kick now. They'll just keep it in there. Little short free kick, keep it in that bottom corner, run the clock down and feel it's all over.
Virtually about 30 seconds of the 7 minutes remaining on my watch, and City are just going to play keep ball close to the corner flag on the far side in front of their own fans, who'll be quite happy. They've won the ball back, though, of Everton. They're trying to get it away so that they can get one last attempt to get the ball into the City half and possibly create an opportunity, but not like that. It's back with City. It's played through into Jesus, who's inside the penalty area. Pickford makes a save. Jesus at the second attempt has scored. The initial effort was saved by goalkeeper Jordan Pickford, and it bounced high up into the air. Pickford was still grounded, and as it was loose, Gabriel Jesus managed to head into an almost empty net to seal victory for Manchester City. A goal at the end of the first half, a goal in stoppage time at the end of the second. Make sure that they leave Merseyside with 3 Premier League points, which takes them back to the top of the Premier League table, having played a game more than Liverpool. And Everton, unfortunately, despite their valiant attempts, have fallen to defeat here this evening.
Yeah, I think we've got a good performance of ourselves. A ball splitting pass through to Jesus. Pickford did well. He stood up, stopped the first one, but then it's just come back to him and he's just put it in there. But it's a big win for Man City. There's no question about it. I think we've given it a good this evening from what it was Saturday against Wolves.
And there you go, just as the final whistle blew at the end of the first half following the City goal, it does so at the end of the second half.
Yeah, so disappointing the time of the goals have come. But yeah, it's a frustrating result. I'm sure the Evertonians are... You can tell with the applause that they're giving the players. The players have given it all against a good Manchester City team. There's no question they have gone top of the league. And as for anybody thinking that Everton would just lay down and die this evening,
no chance.
That tells you everything. We haven't. We've given it a good go. It hasn't been good enough, but there has been some good performances. I thought John Joe Kenny played very well. He was up against Sane and then up against Sterling. I thought Tom Davies did well in the middle of the park. He battled, showed his willingness to work. But overall, the better side won. There's no question about that.
But they're applauded off the field today, Snods.
They are. They weren't applauded Saturday and haven't been applauded at a few games. But tonight, the fans are giving them a great reception. They know they've got the pride back in them after Saturday. That was a lot better. But the result, it is tough to take. You do know what Man City bring to the party.
It's tough to take, but their quality, and they can do this to any side, not in the Premier League.
In Europe, not just in the Premier League. Also, I'm reasonably happy with our performance this evening.
And what Everton have got to do now, for those still with us on EvertonFC.com, is take this application, attitude and determination down to Watford and Vicarage Road Saturday.
It ain't going to be easy down there. They're not a bad side, Watford. They're kind of funny side. They can turn teams over quite comfortably, or they get beat when you don't expect them to. So, it's going to be a tough ask, but if you show you're right, you show that application, you show that determination, I'm sure there'll be 1 or 2 changes as well in this team come Saturday. We've got every opportunity to go down there and get something from Watford.
And you will be there, so do tune in to EvertonFC.com on Saturday. Darren Griffiths will be back with you. I hope he stayed awake from his vantage point in Vietnam to see it right the way through to the bitter end. And it was a bitter end, really, for Everton, given the fact that they conceded with the last kick of the first half and the last kick of the game, virtually. City have won this one by 2-0. Everton will do their utmost to get back to winning ways at Marco Silva's former club at the weekend. Do join us on EvertonFC.com for that. Thanks for your company this evening. From Alan Irwin and Ian Snowden, a very good night.
Good night.
out yet.